Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. I call the regular Planning Commission meeting to order. Next, we're going to have Vice Chair Chao Han to lead us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We all please stand, rise, and place your hand over your heart and repeat. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May you be seated.
Ms. Acuna, can you please do the roll call?
Yes, thank you, Chair Al. I'll do verbal roll call at this time. Commissioner Surtee,
Here.
Commissioner Reyes,
Present.
Vice Chair Chauhan,
Present.
and Chair Al.
Present.
Okay, it's noted 4 members of the Planning Commission are in attendance with the absence of Commissioner Javeri.
Yes, before the meeting started, I got a text message from Commissioner Javeri saying that he is under the weather. May I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Javeri?
I make a motion to excuse Commissioner Javeri from tonight's meeting.
Second.
Okay, the motion to for excusal of Commissioner Javeri's absence was made by Vice Chair Chauhan and second by Commissioner Reyes. The electronic voting will now be issued. Okay. All votes have been received and the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Acuna. Next, we go to agenda item number 4, public comments and suggestions. This session is reserved for public comments on consent calendar and items not listed on the agenda, but that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Verbal comments may be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. subject to the chair extending to a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker, with a total time allotted not to exceed 45 minutes unless the chair extends. Do we have any speakers for this public comment session? Seeing none, I close the public comments session. Next agenda item is the consent calendar. We move on to agenda item 5A, approval of minutes from July 1st, 2026 meeting.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move that we approve the agenda of the minutes of Wednesday, July 1st, 2026.
Excuse me, before we do the, I would like to ask whoever is in charge of the minutes to please remove the last 4 lines on page 1 and the first 8 lines of page 2. It was a clerical error, I believe.
Thank you, Chair Al. Just to confirm, it's the last 4 lines of page 1 and the last 8 lines of which page?
First 8 lines of page 2.
Understood. Yes, it's a duplicate of the of what is to proceed after that. So yes, we will, if the commission would like to make a motion with that revision, staff will do that appropriately.
Okay, make a motion for that revision, and then we adopt it
And,
right away, or
yes,
later?
and then we'll vote
Okay.
on it, and if passed, yes, it'll be adopted
Okay.
in that way.
All right, do I have a motion to revise?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would like to amend my motion to approve the minutes, including the revision that was stated by Ms. Acuna.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Okay. Motion was made by Commissioner Reyes and seconded by Vice Chair Chowhan. We'll go ahead and activate the electronic voting. Okay, and all votes have been received and the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Next, we move on to number 6, public hearings. 6A, review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending that the Cerritos City Council approve a tentative parcel map number 84-520, a proposal by UGM Development LLC on behalf of Longhorn Steakhouse to subdivide one existing parcel into 2 separate parcels. The subject property is located at 500 Los Cerritos Mall, Cerritos, California. So do we have a staff presentation for this?
Yes, thank you, Chair Al. And good evening, members of the Planning Commission and those in attendance tonight. Item number 6A, again, is a request by UGM Development LLC on behalf of the Longhorn Steakhouse. It is for the request for the approval of the tentative parcel map as described, as well as a precise plan 2026-7 to allow for the subdivision of the parcel, as well as for the construction of a new standalone restaurant within the Los Cerritos Center. In conjunction with the proposal under this item is for the new restaurant is a project includes the facade enhancements to the existing Macy's building. This evening, I'll be presenting the staff's presentation as well as summarizing the analysis and conclude with staff's recommendation. Following, I myself, as well as the rest of the community development staff, would be available to answer any questions that the commission may have. At this time, I'd like to direct your attention to the presentation on the screen. Before you is the subject site under consideration under this item, which is located on the southern portion of the Los Cerritos Center. And it's currently developed with the existing Macy's department store and its associated surface parking area located at 500 Los Cerritos Mall. The aerial photo shown here on the screen depicts the southern portion of the Los Cerritos Center. And as shown, the area is generally bounded by the Interstate 605 or the San Gabriel River Freeway to the west, South Street to the south, and Gridley Road to the east. Before you here is the zoning map for the subject site. As shown in the map, the subject property is zoned regional commercial or CR, as well as the surrounding properties, which are developed currently with commercial uses. Surrounding to the subject site is the remaining portions of the Los Cerritos Center, as well as additional commercial shopping centers located to the south and to the east across South Street and Gridley Road. Photo before you here is an existing view of the project site, which is looking northeast across the parking lot, again, where the proposed restaurant would be located. The existing parking area includes currently parking stalls, landscape planters, parking lot lighting, pedestrian walkways, and internal drive aisles. As mentioned previously, the project includes 2 discretionary requests that are coming before the Planning Commission this evening for recommendation to the City Council. The first is a tentative parcel map number 84520, which would subdivide the existing property into 2 separate parcels. This would create a new parcel for the proposed Longhorn Steakhouse restaurant while allowing the existing Macy's building to remain on its own parcel. The second request is under Precise Plan 2026-7, which would allow for the construction of a new 5,780 square foot standalone restaurant. Under Precise Plan would also include associated site improvements, including landscape, modifications to the parking lot, and exterior facade improvements to the existing Macy's building. Before you here is the proposed tentative parcel map. As shown on the exhibit, the existing Macy's property is currently 1 legal parcel. The applicant is requesting to subdivide that parcel into 2. The first parcel, shown on the map and highlighted in red, would contain the proposed Longhorn Steakhouse site and is associated with the restaurant improvements. Parcel 2 would contain the existing Macy's department store and the remainder of the property. No new streets or infrastructure are proposed as part of the subdivision. The purpose of the parcel map is to establish separate legal parcels while allowing both properties to continue sharing access, parking, and other common facilities through a reciprocal access and agreement. As shown here is the applicant's proposal for the construction of the new standalone restaurant. In addition to the restaurant building, the applicant's proposal includes modifications to the parking lot, including upgrading landscaping, new pedestrian improvements around the building, and other related site enhancements. The proposed project the proposed improvements have been designed to maintain adequate parking and circulation while enhancing the portions of the shopping center and expanding the center's dining options. Shown before you here is the proposed floor plan for the Longhorn Steakhouse restaurant. As shown, the main entrance is located along the south side of the building, leading to a main lobby and dining area. The floor plan includes a combination of booths, tables, and bar seating to accommodate a variety of dining options. Kitchen and food preparation areas are located centrally, while the remainder of the building includes storage areas, office space, employees' facilities, and customer and employee restrooms. The slide here shows the conceptual landscaping for the proposed restaurant. The landscape plan has been designed to complement the new restaurant by providing enhanced landscaping around the building, within the parking lot area and along pedestrian walkways. The project includes a variety of trees, shrubs, and ground cover, including desert willow and crepe myrtle trees, along with a diverse variety of plant materials. Overall, the proposed landscaping will create an attractive setting for the restaurant and enhance the pedestrian environment. For you here is the proposed elevations for the new restaurant building. Shown on the top of the slide is the south elevation, also the front entrance to the new restaurant building. On the bottom is the north elevation face towards the Macy's building. The slide shows the east elevations on the top and the west elevations on the bottom. Overall, the building has been designed with four-sided architecture, incorporating varied roof lines, enhanced materials, and articulated facades that are compatible with the existing commercial development of the Los Cerritos Center. This slide highlights the proposed exterior materials and color palette for the Longhorn Steakhouse building. For your review, a physical material board has also been provided at the dais. The palette incorporates warm neutral tones and compatible with the surrounding commercial development and consistent with the architectural design presented in the previous elevations. As mentioned, as part of the project also includes exterior enhancements to the existing Macy's department store. Shown here are the proposed exterior elevations, which included as part of this applicant's request. While the building itself will remain unchanged, the project includes exterior facades improvements consisting primarily of repainting the building, repairing portions of the facade as needed, and refreshing the overall appearance in the existing structure. As well as part of the proposal includes enhancements to the overall landscaping throughout the parking lot area of the Macy's property. Shown here, there will be additional landscape associated with the new project. The project will also include new trees throughout the Macy's parking lot, including filling in certain gaps in the existing landscape planters with new trees. As shown, additional trees will be planted within the existing planter areas, increasing the tree coverage and improving the overall appearance of the portion of the shopping center. Before you is a rendering of the proposed improvements with the landscaping of the existing Macy's building, looking west at the building's elevation. As part of staff's analysis, staff have evaluated the project under the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and determined that it is categorically exempt pursuant to Guidelines Section 15303, Class 3, which applies to the construction of new small commercial buildings in urbanized areas. The proposed 5,780 square foot restaurant meets the criteria for this exemption, and to further support the analysis, the city retained the services of Kimley Horn to prepare a traffic impact analysis and BMT assessment, which was included as part of the project's review. As a result, concluded that the project resulted in less than significant transportation impacts and found that the project can qualify under the categorical exemption. Tonight, the Planning Commission is being asked to consider this project at a public hearing, which was noticed for both the tentative parcel map and precise plan before 10 days before tonight's hearing. Public hearing notices were published, posted, and mailed in accordance with the Cerritos Municipal Code, and all agenda materials were made available on the city's website. At this time, it is staff's recommendation that the Planning Commission review and consider the information, conduct a public hearing, and adopt resolutions recommending that the City Council approve the tentative parcel map 84520 and precise plan 2026-7 for the Longhorn Steakhouse project. This concludes staff's presentation. Staff is available to answer any questions by the Planning Commission. In attendance as well are representatives from the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Acuna, for the wonderful presentation. Do we have any questions, comments from the commission?
I have.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Amanda, for the presentation. Thank you, staff. A lot of information that was given to us for this event. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for the ability to ask some questions. Question to the staff: Are the standalone properties in that area, like Chick-fil-A, Bank of America, do they have separate parcel?
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, for that question. Currently, only Macy's has its own parcel. The rest of the mall belongs to Mace Ridge.
Okay. So, because what we're being asked to approve today are two things. One is approve parcel map number 84520, which is subdividing the 1.1 acre into two separate parcels, and precise plan 2026-7, the one-story building. So, do we need to have a separate parcel, or what's the advantage, or why are we having a separate parcel?
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. You're correct. The request tonight is two separate entitlements, one for the subdivision of the one parcel into two, and then for the precise plan for the development. The intent behind the request would best be explained, I think, by the applicant side. So once the public hearing is open, we can direct that question to them. In general, a separate parcel would be, by the city standards, it does meet the minimum requirements. Staff analyzed that as part of this request. But in terms of, as well, in terms of sales of property, it would be able to be sold as a separate lot, as it would be its own legal lot. But again, I believe the applicant can probably provide more insight to their reasoning behind it.
And if I may make a correction to my earlier statement, Macy's is its own parcel, and I believe Nordstrom's, there might be a couple parcels owned directly by the business itself.
By the entity.
By the entity. I believe Nordstrom's might be one, but I have to double check.
So Macy's owned that parcel.
Correct.
Okay, so
correct. And so
the whole
the
parcel.
whole parcel, in order for this project to proceed, they have requested that this parcel for Longhorns, have its own parcel.
And that's why it's two projects in one, actually three, because now they're adding because we're not approving the facade of Macy's, right? I mean, it is part of, they're doing a renovation of the facade of Macy's, and that is not before. It's not the one, we're not approving any of that, right? Does it have to go before the commission before they're just saying that they're going to do it in conjunction with the steakhouse?
Thank you. As part of the request under the precise plan, it does include the improvements to the Macy's building. Technically, as of right now, the request is for the Macy's property as one property. It has its own separate precise plan. Any improvements to a commercial facility with a precise plan does get assessed, but since it's correct, it's for a new structure within that parcel, eventually if approved, it will be its own separate parcel and have its own precise plan. But as of right now, since it is one property, it's considered one project that's being requested under the precise plan.
So UGM will be undertaking two projects, which is the steakhouse and the Macy's renovation.
I believe it may be it may be Macy's themselves processing, if approved, processing the construction plans and for the permit process. But as of right now, it's one project, one applicant. Who takes on those parts will be up to the applicant and the owners. But staff will, under this precise plan, will ensure that both improvements are completed.
So they have they don't have to come before us for the Macy's renovation.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, and perhaps I can shed some light. Correct. So today's request, the main project is the Longhorn Steakhouse, but there is a component for a Macy's facade upgrade. And that the impetus for that is, we take opportunities to encourage, because this is technically all of Macy's property, to take this opportunity to upgrade their facade. So you have a nice new building, and Macy's, it's been a little bit of time for a kind of like a facelift. And so this is an opportunity that the city is using to work with Macy's to just upgrade their facade, attract, with their location and where they are by the freeway, to attract more businesses. When you're coming to Longhorns, now you have an uplifted Macy's facade. So as Ms. Acuna was saying, it is both of these fall under Precise Plan 2026-7. The main project before you is the Longhorns project with the side component of a building facade upgrade through Macy's.
Okay, thank you. And I will use my time to my fellow commissioners.
May I? Okay. I just had, first, I'm excited about there's going to be some economic activity in that area, so I'm pretty excited about that. So my question is, at what time does Longhorn Steakhouse close?
I believe that exact time is identified in the traffic report, because they did assess the hours. I would say, I believe we can take a second to look that up. If you had further questions, we can return to that question with an answer.
Okay, sure.
Vice Chair Chauhan.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. I had similar questions. So part of this project is regarding, as a part of this project, additional trees will be planted throughout the parking lot in areas and east of this city. Adding trees is a conundrum. They're beautiful, but they also add to the expense, and does mean what are we going to do with the existing trees that are already on that? If you look at the photograph, they're already existing trees there. So how will this be coordinated with the existing trees and new trees? In fact, personally, I'd prefer fewer trees for the simple reason they all cost money and they all cost breakage over time. So how was that factored in?
Thank you, Vice Chair Chauhan. So for trees on commercial property, such as in the mall, those are all maintained by the mall wholly. They're maintained and taken care of by the mall. The city does require tree trimming permits to ensure that when trees are trimmed, they are trimmed properly, and that's pursuant to the city's tree policy manual. And so when the city requires landscape plans to be submitted, the city reviews them with the city arborist and to ensure that the trees are appropriate for the location, for the size. The city's arborist is very knowledgeable in what are the best types of trees for the various locations in the city and what matches. So those have been reviewed by the city, and it was determined that these trees would fit in with the new trees would fit in with the existing trees, and they will be required to be maintained by the however, Macerich and Macy's have the the agreement for, landscape maintenance, that they would take care of that.
The only other concern I have is with that particular property, where it is, we have a small traffic situation there. Anybody who's driven down South Street, turning right onto the 605 North is always difficult. Why? Because I've used it over the years when I used to commute. Is there any possibility that Caltrans or anybody else would want to expand that from 1 to 2 lanes? And how might that affect that parking lot, if at all? Do we know?
Thank you for that. For that question, I believe we would defer to the project applicant in terms of the study for the traffic. A traffic analysis was completed due to the location of the project, and it was determined that there was no impact. I believe that the study indicated that a lot of these trips would be trips already going to the mall. So if you're already going to the mall, now you're going to add, your dinner plans. The dinner plans would be at Longhorn Steakhouse. However, analysis was completed, and I believe that they'll be able to shed some light on that.
And who can I ask about this report from Kimley and Horn? I appreciate
The environmental consultant is in the audience, and so once we open for public comment, they'd be able
Okay.
to answer those questions.
Well, I appreciate this wonderful data that we've given for each left-right turn. It is very difficult to follow page by page by page. Somehow, if there was a graph that indicated a junction and flow, I could probably visualize it a little better. I have no dispute with the data at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chauhan. I just have a couple of very quick questions. Number one is that a restaurant has different requirements for like a utility infrastructure than a retail store. So in this Macy's parcel, is the necessary utility infrastructure available for the new restaurant?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yes, that's part of the assessment. This is the tentative parcel map did identify the necessary utilities that would be needed for the proposed restaurant building, as well as there are existing utilities within the mall that would be connected into a new building. And yes, there will be the proper utilities necessary to operate the business. Mhm.
Okay, my second question, thank you. My second question is that once this parcel is subdivided into two, does it necessarily mean that the ownership will change? There will be two owners, or is it still going to be the same owner?
That's a question that the applicant can shed some light on. As of right now, the map would allow for a separate ownership. That opportunity would be allowed by creating two legal lots. But what the plans are, we'll defer to the applicant. They can have more information on that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Acuna. So do we have any further questions or comments from the commission? If not, I'm going to open the public hearing. Yeah.
And before, I just wanted to be able to answer Commissioner
okay.
Surtees' question regarding the hours of operation. So as proposed, the restaurant would be open between the hours of 11 a.m. To 10 p.m. So that would be the hours of operation for the sit-down restaurant. And if the commission would like, since there were some questions regarding the traffic analysis and the BMT analysis that was prepared by the city's consultant, Kimley Horn, I'd ask that the representative be provided to the comment period at this time before we receive any other comments. All right.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Before we, just a minute, we have a city council member, Sophia Tsi, in our audience. Thank you very much for attending. Yeah, so now, Yeah, our mayor, Linda Johnson, just came in. Thank you very much for attending. So let's proceed with the public hearing on this agenda item 6A. Thank you very much.
Hello, Planning Commissioners. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Kevin Kawashita with United Growth, or the applicant UGM LLC. I guess I wanted to just say we've worked with staff for the last 2 to 3 years now on this project, and we appreciate all of their time and efforts, and also this fantastic presentation today. So it's been quite a bit of effort, and we're very excited to be here today. I guess I'd like to provide a little bit of context before I answer some of the questions that came up, just on who we are and our relationship with Macy's. It all gets a little confusing. So while Macy's does own the parcel, the larger 11.1 or 11 acres, we'll be coming in, and United Growth is a separate entity. We are a national retail developer, but this is not a publicly traded backed company type development project. We are just doing this one project. So while it's 11.11 acres, we are doing a 0.91 acre development with a 5,700 square foot sit-down restaurant. So just, I think the size and scope of what the project is, what the budget is, and what it can bear is kind of relevant. I think as we worked with staff, when we were considering this project, I think, staff's kind of request and what we had worked with them for the last couple of years was the landscaping, the trees that were your comments. So going above and beyond our under acre parcel, trying to improve the rest of the 11 acre site and trying to meet staff's kind of recommendations on landscaping, trees, other Macy's facade improvements. So we have worked diligently to work on our budget to try and get all of that to pencil within our project scope for the size. Your questions around the parcel map, while there's a couple different reasons, one of them is that when you have an independent parcel, you can also get construction financing. It's hard to do it on an 11 acre where it's owned by a publicly traded company. That complicates everything. When you have a separate parcel, we can get financing to, bring this amenity to the community, to the center, and that's really the initial driver. In the longer run, it does give the flexibility and optionality for a sale or a new owner, or if Macy's decides they want to keep it. But that is a conversation that can be had. But for me, initially, I need to procure funds to develop and do all of the landlord work and all the Macy's facade improvements, as well as the landscaping. That would all fall on us, the applicant. So definitely appreciate your consideration here. Definitely hope for your support. And I think that's it, unless you have any other questions for me. Otherwise, I can reach out to our other parties. We have a representative of the tenant, Longhorn, as well as our traffic engineer that can answer any of your other technical questions. So.
Question?
Thank you, Kevin. What's your last name again?
Oh, Kawashita.
Kawashita.
Kawashita, if you want.
Kawashita.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Kawashita. Thank you for that presentation. Thank you for the clarity. I'll bring clarity to the situation. So, is the Macy's and Longhorn Steakhouse project going to be concurrent, or are you finishing the steakhouse before the facade, or the facade before the steakhouse?
So we have been working with staff on that, and I think what we have come to an agreement on is that we would be trying to do everything at the same time. So while we're doing the construction for the Longhorn, it makes sense. You want a single mobilization. Costs are getting expensive overall, and so if we can have the contractor do everything at the same time, I think that would be the best.
Yeah, and also for the public use. I mean, if you have construction on one side and the other side, might as well do it at one time and then open it up at the same time.
Absolutely.
Next is the art in public places. Part of having a business or building a structure into which we participate in art in public space. So I saw that, understand that you are paying instead of putting up public art in the space. So I was wondering, can you put like a Remington statue or something, cowboy related or something? I mean, that would be nice, but it's your choice. But would like I myself would like to see the stamp of the business owners when they are, putting art in their space. So, but anyway, thank you very much for choosing Cerritos, and I hope you had from what I heard from you, is you're having a great relationship with staff, which I know they always do a good job. So,
Absolutely.
Mr. Kawashita, thank you so much.
Hi, Kevin. I wanted to ask you about if there's any way, since Cerritos was known as, I guess, a formerly Cow City. Okay, so I was wondering if there's any way you can make some sort of ode to at the restaurant, some sort of like a customized decoration or like some sort of personal thing for Cerritos inside the restaurant. That would be nice, And the second thing is that, I know that there's not many Longhorns restaurant close by. I think most of them are like 30, 40 miles away. So do you expect this to be a high volume store since it's near a freeway and density of population? And the third question is that, is there any way that as a favor to the city of Cerritos, if you could hire locally? So those are my three questions.
So those are mostly on the operation side, and unfortunately, so I don't have any sort of control in terms of what the tenant does. I can, refer to the tenant
Nina?
applicant.
Okay,
If there's, you could always call me back up, but
Okay.
if you don't mind, then I'll
Yeah,
let
sure.
them answer. Excellent, thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of Planning Commission, members of staff, good evening. My name is Nina Ray with RSI Group, representing Longhorn Steakhouse. We have worked for a long, long time, like Kevin mentioned, with staff. So I'd like to thank the staff for all the time that they have spent in this project. Your question, Rios, about putting an art within Longhorn. When we do this restaurant's floor plan, every square inch in the building space is needed for us. That's the reason we have chosen to pay the in-lieu fee for the art and public spaces versus doing an art itself. And then we have already spent a lot of money doing the Macy's facade upgrade, the landscaping, and all of that staff had required us to do to be able to get this project approved. So adding more dollars at this time, that cannot be supported by my client. So as far as that goes, we have done a lot of work, fixed the facade, did four-sided buildings to make sure we meet all the city requirements so that you guys have a good-looking building. It's a very busy intersection. We do understand that. Normally, when they do the hiring, they do try to hire as much local people as possible. When we do the training, they do have staff coming from different restaurants. And it may be a high-volume restaurant because of the location, but most of the Longhorn Steakhouse that we've got, including Temecula, Northridge, La Quinta, some of these locations we have done very well. So we are expecting the same here also. So I can steal the horse from P.F. Chang's idea. But we have...
Different horse.
Yeah, we have reviewed the conditions of approval and we agree to all of it. Looking forward for this project to be approved so we can build our restaurant and move on to another location.
What's the timeline? When do you expect to open?
We have to go to the city council, of course, in August. So once we get the approval, then Kevin has to get to work and get all his grading and all his other approvals because this is a lease with a pad that would be provided by the landlord, and Longhorn is responsible for the pad itself and the surrounding building, the sidewalk, the landscaping within our parcel. So we'll be working concurrent, trying to get our building plans into plan review while they're working on theirs. So as soon as we can get our building permits, we'll be dealing with LA County on electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and other reviews, which takes longer getting, especially with staffing everywhere, but we'll do what we can on our end.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
The question would be, one, I love the color scheme because I love the Southwest colors. So, and that fits into the Macy's curtain, as I like to call it. It's magnificent. I think it will really improve that view from that perspective. I've only lived in Cerrito for 20 years, but I've seen that building the way it is. So it will enhance that mall tremendously. And thank you for bringing Longhorn here. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have Matt Stewart. I know you guys had some questions regarding the traffic, so I'll have him answer some of the questions you guys may have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the traffic study.
Well, the only thing I noticed was it was done on March 4th, which is a Wednesday. If you know anything about traffic around here, Monday and Fridays tend to be pretty bad. Also, it's a hit and miss. One accident can change the traffic flow around here. It is as simple as that. So, while I love the metrics, we can survive it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. No. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Any more speakers for this public hearing?
David Plowman, 7842 Sun Valley Way. So I agree with Mr. Reyes. I believe this is a 3-project item. I believe that it should be separated because we're working in another parcel. And so I do agree with you that I think it should be 3 projects here. You know, we're talking about, there was a question about whether there's one parcel for the center, and then now we're making another parcel, and I believe the question was no. If you look at the map, I think there are several parcels that are shown on this map. I believe the bank building near Gridley is in one parcel, and Macy's is another parcel, and then we're creating a 3rd parcel, and there probably are more parcels. Through this discussion, I'm concerned about the we developed this new parcel so there can be a sale of this individual parcel. I'm concerned about the concept of that. Also, I thought the mall was owned by Macerich. So I thought that Macerich was the main person, so I thought they were the owner, and so therefore these were subleasees. Am I incorrect on that? Maybe I could get an answer, although it's not normal for an answer to be given to speakers. I think there's some mislabeling in the presentation. I think the view marked as the north view of Macy's is actually not the north view. So I think maybe you might check that before you make the presentation to the council. I was interested in the closing time. As we know, the city manager is trying to find restaurants that will be open after CCPA closes. And so I looked that up online today to see the 10 p.m. on the other 2 Longhorn locations. I'm not sure that Longhorn, having been in it, is the type of place that is going to serve steaks after CCPA is over. But I mean, you know, that is a concern as we go on, as to for those of us who went to see John Legend the other night, we watched the exodus onto the freeway of all of the people. No one was staying in Cerritos for anything. The only place to go is BJ's unless you want to go to Denny's. So that is a concern. I would have preferred to have a north entrance to this restaurant. I'm sure there's a reason why they wanted to open with a south, but again, the flow from the mall, isn't that what we're trying to work with? Didn't we talk about we're continuing through the old Sears into the new sporting goods store? So I was concerned about that as well. So again, these are things to consider before you forward to the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plowman. Any more speakers? Seeing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing session for this agenda item 6A. Any further comments, questions, discussions from the?
Well, I think the speaker's right that came in. I think we have to get the terminology right. If it's going to be the south end on that side, we should just make sure that correction is made in the terminology. Okay, so, and then the second thing he said was about the timing of the restaurant. Okay, and I think, I don't have a problem restaurants staying open a little longer because I think Cerritos could benefit from the sales tax dollars. So I don't have an issue with that. Okay, and as far as what Nina was saying about the decoration and the tenant not interested in doing any more adoptions of any type of improvement because investments already been made, right? So the one thing I would say is that it's always nice for every restaurant just to personalize, saying that some sort of mention of Cerritos in the Cerritos neighborhood, right? That anyhow, anything that just personalizes that restaurant for Cerritos, So, but I'm very excited that this restaurant's coming to our neighborhood. I think it's going to be a great opportunity, great investment, great for the neighborhood, great for our city, and great for business. So we're excited about that.
Yes, if it wouldn't be too much for the staff, because I would like also to understand for myself and the people here and viewing audience, if you can give us a rundown on how the Cerritos Mall, the gem of our community, how it's subdivided, who owns it, how quick rundown on on how it's parceled out.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. With that information, if you would allow staff to perhaps, we'll look at the maps. There are different parcels on the site, and so we would be able to look at the parcels and perhaps provide a follow-up to the Planning Commission at a later date of who owns what. At
Okay,
the mall.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Okay. If we have no more discussions and questions, comments, may I have a motion?
Well, I moved to approve 6A, the tentative parcel map number 84520 and precise plan 2026-7.
Seconded.
Thank you. Christian.
And just for clarification, the motion was for recommendation for approval of tentative parcel map number 84520 and precise plan 2026-7 to the City Council. Motion was made by Commissioner Reyes and seconded by Vice Chair Chauhan. We'll go ahead and activate the electronic voting at this time. And all votes have been received, and the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Congratulations, applicants. And again, thank you guys for bringing that project to City of Cerritos. Next, we move on to agenda item 6B. Review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending approval of wireless telecommunication permit 2026-1. Do we have a staff report for this one?
Thank you. Yes, Chair Al and members of the commission. Tonight, agenda item number 6B, again, is a request for a new wireless telecommunication facility proposed as a monopine along Parkside Avenue. Tonight's presentation will be given by Associate Planner Wyman Wong, after which he, along with the rest of the community development staff, will be able to answer any questions that the commission may have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. Good evening, Chair and the Cerritos Planning Commissioners. The applicant, Yukon Group, is requesting a new wireless telecommunication facility entitlement approval under Wireless Telecommunication Permit 2020-6-1 in order to construct a new monopine wireless facility with an equipment enclosure located beneath it in an industrial developed property. For details, I would like to direct your attention to the screen for a presentation. This is an aerial view of the subject property, which is generally located south of 166th Street and west of Norwalk Boulevard. Residential properties are approximately more than 380 feet away from the proposed wireless facility. This is a large aerial view that shows the details of the property. The property was originally developed in 1969 with one industrial building and improved by Precise Plan 68-8. The property is bordered on the north, east, and south by industrial properties zoned industrial, and on the west is Parkside Avenue, an existing 64-foot wide street. This is a view of the existing industrial building and front gates of the subject property that will contain the subject wireless telecommunications facility looking northeast from Parkside Avenue. This is a view of the proposed subject wireless facility looking east from Parkside Avenue. This is a large view of wireless facility equipment enclosure on the subject property. During staff's inspection, staff noted the following existing conditions that do not meet the requirements of the Cerritos Municipal Code. The existing perimeter fence and vehicular access gate, including barbed wire. The existing parking lot is in deteriorated condition with worn asphalt, numerous cracks and faded parking stall striping, outdoor storage of materials throughout the parking lot, and vicinity of the existing trash enclosures on the property. Staff added project-specific conditions approval 77 through 79 to ensure these violations will be in compliance with the Cerritos Municipal Code. This is a site plan showing the proposed wireless facility on the subject property in the surrounding industrial building zone industrial. This is a large site plan showing the subject wireless facility on the subject property's parking lot. This is a proposed equipment enclosure plan. It contains one walk-up equipment cabinet, one backup generator, 2 utility trenches, one teleco box, one electrical panel, and one electrical meter pedestal mounted on the wall, and 2 global positioning antennas for wireless purposes. This is a proposed antenna layout plan on the 4 sectors. Each of the 4 sectors will contain 3 panel antennas, 4 remote radio units, and 2 surge suppressors mounted on the wireless facility. These are the west and east elevations of the proposed wireless facility. The panel antennas, remote radio units, and surge suppressors are mounted on the top of the wireless facility, and beneath is the proposed equipment enclosure. These are the south and north elevations of the proposed wireless facility. This is a photo-sleeping view looking west at the proposed wireless facility. As you can see, the proposed monopole design allows for the wireless facility to better integrate into the built environment. This is a photo simulation view looking southeast at the proposed wireless facility. This is a photo simulation view looking east at the proposed wireless facility. On the screen are 2 coverage maps. On the left side, this map shows wireless coverage without the proposed wireless facility. The purple colored areas on the map show the gaps in coverage. On the right side, this map shows coverage with the proposed wireless facility. The green areas on the map show the increased coverage. As you can see, the proposed wireless facility indicated in the red circle provides much needed wireless coverage in the area. This concludes the details of the proposed use. Pursuant to Section 15303 of the California Environmental Quality Act, this project is category exempt from SEQA review. Wireless Telecommunications Permit 2026-1 will allow the facility to be located in the subject property, permit the facility to replace an existing older AT&T wireless facility located on the ABC Unified School District, and provide coverage around the surrounding areas. Staff received 2 public comments on the poor cell service and separation distance of the wireless facilities from the public hearing notices, which have been discussed in the report. At this time, it recommend that the Planning Commission review and discuss the information provided, conduct a public hearing, and adopt a resolution recommending approval of the wireless telecommunication permit 2026-1 to the City Council. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time. In the audience is a project applicant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wang, for your presentation. Yes. Yeah. Commissioner Reyes.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. Thank you, staff. Again, excellent presentation. I really don't have any issue with this proposal. Comment is really just it. You know, the monopine really blends nicely with the surrounding area. It actually enhances the look of the building. I mean, it looks natural. I think I prefer this rather than the palm trees that you see all the sticking, you know, wires around. If the picture is as good as it will look in the real, because this is just a picture. So I haven't really seen a monopine in person. Most of the things I've seen are those palm trees with those antennas sticking out. But it looks great. I think it's in a place where it doesn't interfere or obstruct anything in the community. Actually, like I said, it adds. Putting it up there with a photo, with a picture, it kind of enhances the whole place. So no issue. Good job, and thank you again for the presentation.
Yeah, I echo Commissioner Reyes's comments. Now, question is the monopines. Are they going to eventually look green, like what we see in the pictures, or are they going to be painted green, or? So is that a real image, or it's just in the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Ao. So as part of the conditions of approval, the staff does ensure that as presented under the photo simulations, that's why it's part of your packets, and why we asked them of the applicant to show what it will look like out on the site. We do ensure that under the conditions of approval that they are to be constructed similarly to those photo simulations, and we will ensure before final sign off that they do meet those minimum requirements, including in terms of the material and the coloring, to ensure that it is as representative as they are in those photos. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Are there other monopine structures in the city of Cerritos?
Yes, I believe there are additional monopines that have been reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission, yourselves, and the City Council. I'll defer also to our Associate Planner Wyman, who can pull up the exact number of monopines that the city has issued out wireless telecommunication permits for.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a total right now of 5 monopines in the city of Cerritos. Right now, with this one that you see for you tonight, I'll make it 6. One is being removed to accommodate this new one.
Thank you. Vice Chair Chauhan.
Who owns this property? Is this private property?
Yes, it is a privately owned property.
Okay. My second question relates to a condition on here of removing barbed wires. So is it on the outside? Because this appears to be in the middle of a couple of warehouses. Or is it off to the side?
Yes, thank you. The barbed wire in question is located atop the gate that's that's visible from the public right of way. I believe it's about the gate and the gate and the fence located approximately is 20 feet setback from the property line. So it is located on the side. It is visible from the public right of way and therefore in compliance with the city's municipal code. So it is a condition of approval that be come into conformance.
And I understand city code, but has anybody talked to the owner about why they put up the barbed wire?
At this time, staff has not approached the owners as to why. That could certainly be a step that staff takes to ensure. I'm assuming possible reasons could be security. And so, but again, in accordance with city standards, it is a violation. We do want to ensure that all the violations on the property are removed, but certainly staff can reach out to the applicant to identify the issue.
And with all due respect to the city, the owner still has to protect their property. One of the things that's happening, and if you talk to business owners, you'll find out, we have individuals that don't have permanent residence who unfortunately vandalize many of these places. So you can understand the conundrum that the owner is under. And even for this project, an individual hacking or breaking into the system can do a lot of damage with just a few things. Cabinets do not remain closed, locked, while the individuals do lock them. I've walked around this very city and seen cabinets open that should not be open. And obviously there was no staff doing the work. So how do we meet the needs of the business, the residents, to ensure that these places are as secure as possible? So we need to find a way to work with them, not just say it is a city code. But as it relates to this, so this is a fully first radial tower that I've seen. The other ones that I've seen have been usually on 3 sides. But this is also at the edge of our city. There is a lack of coverage towards the center, and I've heard this from different people depending on who the carrier is. How do we get better coverage for our residents and business in the areas that lack coverage? From what I can determine, can anybody tell us what the radial coverage would be of this tower? I mean, I see the picture in the sense of where it will go, but what is the limit of each one of these towers? And it is dependent on the frequencies. I get that.
Yes, of course. We'll go ahead. We'll defer that question to the applicant's representative, who may have a more technical information on the equipment at hand.
But Vice Chair Chauhan, if I may, the city manager's office is very, hears the concerns that you brought up about wireless coverage and is always encouraging our department to work with our wireless providers, thank you, to ensure that, we have fire facility upgrades, new wireless facilities, et cetera, to make sure that coverage, is made available in places where they are lacking. So please know that that is of high priority here in the city.
And please know that I'm part of the problem as well, in the sense that as an individual, I have 3 cell coverage. Why? I have 1 cell phone, I have a watch that requires signal, I have a car that requires signal. So as we buy more devices, we need more antennas to cope with the signals.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chauhan. Commissioner Surdi, I believe.
Hi. Yeah, my question relates to the concern for fire, and if there's any issues with the making sure that there's some sort of like review of the facility in terms of making sure that it's fire safe. Okay, and I think usually it's the generator that causes the most of the problems and the fuel supply. So how does that maintain, and who watches that or oversees that issue?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Surdi. As part of the request would be for, if approved for the new facility, they would be required to prepare technical plans, construction plans, and that would have to be reviewed and assessed by all proper agencies, which do include our building and safety staff, as well as LA County Fire as well would review if needed. In terms of ongoing maintenance, facilities do tend to have their own maintenance requirements. We do ensure that minimum conditions are met for proper maintenance. But as well, we can ask the applicant what their intended maintenance operations would be for the facility.
It's just because it's also on private property, so it'd be really interesting to see what kind of plan they have for that. That's my only concern.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Surdy. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for agenda item 6B. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, and at this time, the commission will allow the applicant's representatives, since we had questions regarding coverage and maintenance relating to the proposed application.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's working. Is that working? Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Jerry Ambrose. I'm here on behalf of AT&T. And as Amanda said, I took down 2 questions that you have. The first question regarding the radius or the diameter of the coverage pattern. First of all, this tower is replacing an existing tower that's at the ABC Unified District Office, which is just slightly to the east of this property. So this will replace the coverage that's provided by that tower right now. I did provide sort of a precise boundary by streets in the application that I submitted, but I don't have that with me. Roughly, it's 1.5 miles diameter of solid, good coverage, and then, of course, some coverage will bleed out beyond that, but that's kind of the general number, about 1.5 miles. And then in regards to your question about maintenance, about once every 6 weeks, once every 2 months, someone will physically go to the property, inspect the property to see if anything's not where it's supposed to be or whatever. But most of the maintenance is done remotely, electronically. They also have drones that go out periodically to check out the actual tower up high above the ground. And then I can answer any other questions you may have.
So what sort of backup supply will you have on that facility?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
What sort of backup power will you have on that facility in case the power goes down?
Oh, there's, well, there are 2 things. There are batteries, cabinets in the lease area. Those can last for 8 or 9 hours after the power goes out. And then beyond that, there is a permanent standby generator in the lease area as well for anything that's longer term than that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, Ambrose. I'm just curious. You're replacing the one in ABC.
Correct.
So is it because of newer technology, better location, or what?
Oh,
drove you to-
that lease agreement is,
it's a lease agreement.
is ending.
I see.
Yeah, it's gonna be ending soon.
So, but you're replacing the one in base ABC with the same technology, same coverage. So there's no increase in.
I mean,
coverage
there's,
within-
700 feet difference, I
Yeah,
guess,
okay.
plus or minus. But yes, the whole purpose of the project was to replace that tower.
Because of the lease agreement.
Lease agreement is ending, correct.
Thank you. That's all I got. Sure.
No questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any more speakers for this agenda item? Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing for agenda item 6B. Any further discussions, questions from the commission? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to recommend the approval of the this project. Okay. Commissioner Surdy, your motion is recommend the approval of wireless telecommunication permit 2026-1.
I second the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The motion was made by Commissioner Surdy and seconded by Commissioner Reyes for the recommendation of the approval to the City Council for wireless telecommunication permit 2026-1. We'll activate electronic voting at this time. Okay, all votes have been received and the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Acuna. So now let's move on to agenda item 6C. Review and consideration to waive full reading and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending that the Cerritos City Council approve Development Map Amendment 2026-2, a request to amend the Cerritos development map by changing the zone classification of approximately 3.93 acres of land located at 17600 Crusader Avenue, Cerritos, California, from industrial to industrial/commercial. Do we have a staff report for this one?
Yes, thank you, Chair. On agenda item number 6C, the last public hearing item for tonight, is a request for two entitlements. The first for a development map amendment for the changing of the land use designation for the subject site from industrial to industrial commercial, as well for the request for a specific conditional use permit for the allowance of the auto repair use. Tonight's presentation under agenda item number 6C will be given by our Associate Planner, Mary Balderrama, as well as along with our Senior Planner, Jeremy Lowe. I'll turn it to them at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. Good evening, Honorable Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The item before you tonight is related to a request from applicant AutoNation Incorporated, doing business as Lexus of Cerritos, for a development map amendment for a change of zoning designation by way of Development Map Amendment 2026-2 and a conditional use permit 2026-2 for the property located at 17600 Crusader Avenue, Cerritos, California 90703. The request for a zoning amendment and conditional use permit is in support of Lexus of Cerritos, currently operating at the Cerritos Auto Square. This project is exempt from review under the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15061B3. Tonight's presentation will be a joint presentation between myself and Senior Planner Jeremy Lowe. At this time, I would like to direct your attention to the screen for the presentation. The subject property at 17600 Crusader Avenue is presently zoned industrial M. In 2022 and 2023, the Planning Commission and City Council approved Conditional Use Permit 2022-23 and Precise Plan 2022-15 for the construction of a new 75,500 square foot industrial building for warehousing and light industrial purposes. Construction has not yet begun on the property, and the site is currently vacant, temporarily used for vehicle storage to support a Cerritos Auto Square dealership. The applicant is now proposing Development Map Amendment 2026-2 to change the zoning of the property from industrial M to industrial commercial MC, and Conditional Use Permit 2026-2 to use the previously entitled building as an off-site, non-customer-facing automotive service facility, inclusive of an enclosed private car wash as an accessory use and storage for surplus dealership inventory. The map on the screen is the subject property. To the north is an abandoned MTA right-of-way, beyond which exists Artesia Boulevard and the 91 and 605 freeways. To the south is an industrial warehouse, zoned industrial commercial. To the east is the 605 freeway. And to the west is a private education school, Valley Christian, zoned open space. The first entitlement we will discuss tonight is Development Map Amendment 2026-2 for the subject property. As previously mentioned, the existing zoning on the subject property is industrial, which does not allow for automotive repair uses, nor a private car wash or surplus vehicle storage. Therefore, in order to allow for these uses, as proposed by the applicant, DMA 2026-2 is being requested to change the zoning from industrial to industrial commercial, which allows for such uses to be conditionally permitted. The proposed development map amendment is compatible with the existing land uses and in support of Cerritos Auto Square operations, further providing opportunity in generating sales tax revenue. This map illustrates the proposed change of the zoning designation under DMA 2026-2 of the project site from Industrial M to Industrial Commercial MC. As you can see, the surrounding uses include an existing right-of-way, the I-605 freeway, and existing industrial commercial zone properties, which are compatible with the proposed new zoning, also industrial commercial. Furthermore, to the west of the property is Valley Christian School, to which the subject property is separated by an existing chain link fence with approximately 80 feet of green space between the property line and the nearest school building. As part of Precise Plan 2022-15, an 8-foot decorative concrete block wall is required to be built as part of the project scope. Therefore, the proposed zoning amendment allows for the subject property to remain compatible with existing land uses. Under this amendment, the proposed industrial commercial zoning provides the appropriate regulatory framework for the types of uses the applicant is proposing. As previously mentioned, the surrounding area already contains several industrial commercial zoned parcels, which means the proposed zoning will align with the site with the existing pattern of development. This creates a consistent land use corridor and avoids introducing any new or incompatible uses to the neighborhood. The amendment also supports the city's broader economic development goals established by way of the city's Economic Development Strategic Plan and the city's strategic plan by strengthening Auto Square's operations and ensuring this property can be used in a way that contributes to long-term economic activity. By rezoning and allowing for a use in support of the Cerritos Auto Square, it creates opportunity for additional sales tax generation. With the capacity to service more vehicle owners will be required to visit the main dealership in person, increasing the potential for more new vehicle sales. Therefore, DMA 2026-2 has the potential to further support the city's economic base. At this time, I would like to turn the presentation over to Senior Planner Jeremy Lowe to discuss the second part of the applicant's request, Conditional Use Permit 2026-2.
Thank you, Ms. Balderrama. With the zoning amendment, the applicant is also requesting approval of Conditional Use Permit 2026-2 to allow a non-customer facing automotive repair facility, automobile detailing, a private car wash, and vehicle parking to support the existing Lexus of Cerritos dealership. The applicant is proposing to locate the proposed uses within a new 75,514 square foot industrial building, which had previously been approved by the Planning Commission and City Council under Precise Plan 2022-15. The proposal will not modify the previously approved building exterior, or site plan. Shown here, which will continue to comply with the requirements of the Cerritos Municipal Code. On the screen is an aerial map of the subject property as it currently exists. It is currently vacant and being used to store Cerritos Auto Square vehicle inventory. Here are a few photographs of the existing property. The image on the left faces directly north, and the image on the right faces northeast, which shows temporary vehicle parking for the dealership within the Cerritos Auto Square with the I-605 beyond. The applicant is proposing the following spaces and uses within the new building: a 40,000 square foot automobile service workshop, a 4,550 square foot automobile detailing area, a 1,550 square foot private car wash as an accessory use, and 23,400 square feet of storage spaces, with 6,000 square feet of ancillary spaces in support of staff. The proposed facility is not intended for public access. All members of the public will still use the vehicle drop-off at the main Lexus of Cerritos dealership. As previously mentioned, there will be no alterations to the building that was previously approved, including the 10 loading bay doors, which will be used to access this facility. Pursuant to Cerritos Municipal Code Section 2240-630, which regulates automobile repair, the facility will be wholly contained inside the building footprint as required. Additionally, the proposed use will be compatible with adjacent land uses and structures, which are industrially zoned properties along Crusader Avenue. As part of the project for the proposed land use and zone change, a traffic and vehicle miles impact assessment was prepared, and it was found that the proposed change of land use and zoning would not adversely impact the surrounding transportation system, with a less than significant impact on vehicle miles traveled. Furthermore, a noise, air quality, and greenhouse gas emissions analysis was prepared by a third-party consultant, which determined no significant impact for operational noise and/or air quality, nor any conflict with applicable greenhouse gas emission plans, policies, or regulations. This project is exempt from review under the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15061(b)(3). However, as I mentioned earlier, supplemental analysis for traffic, air quality, noise, and greenhouse gas emissions was conducted and indicated findings of no significant impact. Furthermore, this proposal is consistent with the general plan because it places compatible uses together and aligns the site with surrounding industrial commercial development, while also advancing the city's economic development goals by supporting AutoSquare-related operations and strengthening a key commercial area. Overall, the zoning amendment and conditional use permit reinforced established land use policy and long-term economic strategy. Public notice for this item was provided in accordance with state law and local requirements. The hearing notice was mailed to property owners within 500 feet, published in the Los Cerritos Community News, and posted at the city's designated posting locations. All materials, including the staff report and exhibits, were also made available on the city's website prior to tonight's meeting. At this time, I would like to turn the presentation back over to Associate Planner Mary Balderrama to wrap up the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. Tonight's entitlements seek to enhance the operational capacity of an established Cerritos AutoSquare dealership by providing a dedicated off-site location for vehicle servicing, detailing, parts storage, and inventory management. By allowing for non-customer-facing functions to the Crusader Avenue facility, the main dealership can focus more on sales and customer service. This increased efficiency supports the dealership's ability to sustain and grow both new and pre-owned vehicle sales. Those sales contribute directly to local revenue. Strengthening AutoSquare operations helps maintain one of the city's most significant economic drivers and supports ongoing sales tax generation for the city. Overall, the project aligns with the city's long-standing strategy to support and expand the AutoSquare as a regional commercial destination, while ensuring continued economic benefit to the community. At this time, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review and discuss the information presented, conduct a public hearing, and adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council approve Development Map Amendment 2026-2 and Conditional Use Permit 2026-2. This concludes staff's presentation. Myself, Senior Planner Jeremy Lowe, and Director of Community Development Sabrina Chan are available to answer any questions the Planning Commission may have. The project applicant and environmental consultants are also in the audience tonight and can answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Balderrama and Mr. Lowe for the presentation. Very interesting. Questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, I have two questions for the staff. Given there's a nearby school right next to the to this proposed site, what specific measures are will be required to ensure that noise, traffic, vehicle movement will, and all those type of issues, like how will that affect student safety in that area, especially during arrival and dismissal time? That's one. Okay, and the second is that, what conditions of approval will the city require to ensure hazardous material from the car wash, and other vehicle fluids and wastewater from the car wash that doesn't go down to doesn't go down to the drains or just affect the surrounding area. So I want to make sure that any wastewater, fluids, chemicals doesn't affect the neighborhood and I guess the water area in that area. So if you could help us understand those two issues.
Thank you, Commissioner Surtee. In regards to the school use, so prior to this item being presented to the Planning Commission tonight, back in 2022/2023, this item was also brought before the Planning Commission for an industrial warehousing type use. And I believe back then, for that project, the applicant did work with Valley Christian High School, to ensure that the Valley Christian High School would be in support of such a change. Specifically, so for Valley Christian, they front Dumont Avenue, so they are fronting the other side of the street versus this property focuses on fronts on Crusader. So the students will not access or walk through the site at all. Regarding the concern for waste, yes, there are environmental regulations that regulate how the waste of the car wash, et cetera. There's state regulations that the city requires for each applicant, and those will be applied on the to the applicant, that they have to meet these regulations. People cannot just dump into the streets. There are requirements for that.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we can sell more cars. So that's a good thing.
Yes. Go ahead.
So just a question. This warehouse is identical to what was proposed in 2023?
Thank you, Vice Chair Chauhan. Yes, so actually the physical building that was previously approved is not changing. So that what was approved, the applicant has decided that is the what they want to build in. They just want to change the use.
Right. And in this case, the applicant is AutoNation.
Correct.
And they also happen to own Toyota as well.
Correct.
And the parts are interchangeable between the two vehicles as well. The parts are totally interchangeable between the two brands.
So
Toyota
for
is
this
Lexus.
specific project, the applicant is AutoNation, who represents Lexus of Cerritos.
So adding additional bays would actually alleviate pressure for both Toyota and Lexus, which I do like. So the point is, we need more bays, because I am one of those customers who's affected by the delays at the dealership. So-
Vice Chair Chauhan, it is just Lexus of Cerritos that would be utilizing this facility.
Okay. But it still is what it is. As far as noise goes, when there was a study done, I saw that if the ambient is certain amount, and then it goes, but there's a freeway right next to it. Anybody who lived next to a freeway knows that the noise from there would supersede almost any industrial noise coming out of that facility. That's it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Again, staff, thank you for the presentation. So we have two items that we need to, two in one again. We have two in one, the DMA 2026-2 and the CUP 2026-2. First of all, who owns the property?
Thank you for that question. So the property actually currently is not owned by AutoNation. It is currently owned by another dealership at the Auto Center. This is AutoNation intends to purchase this property,
Okay.
so this is to support them in their
In their
current purchase.
in their planned purchase. Okay. So this was originally planned industrial, and then we are asking it to be designated as the industrial commercial because of the use of car wash and and service repair and all this stuff. So, because if it is industrial in the original plan, they cannot do what they're planning to do. So if these are all, that's where I'm getting a little confused. If we are already changing it to industrial commercial, which allows the car wash and the repair, why do we need a conditional use permit?
Thank you for that question, Commissioner Reyes. So under section chapter 22.29 of the Cerritos Municipal Code, the industrial commercial zone, all uses in this code section are conditional uses. So for any type of use to operate, it would be a conditional use, and a conditional use permit would be required.
Would be required. So it's a requirement once you have an industrial commercial designation, you need a CUP. On the name itself, conditional use. How long is that conditional use permit?
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. So the entitlement runs with the land until a future applicant or future property owner decides they want to change.
So it's a kind of misleading conditional, but actually in perpetuity if you want to use it, as long as it's almost a permanent permit.
Correct. Perhaps conditional use refers more to, in the code, there are permitted uses and conditional uses. Permitted uses will not need perhaps to go before the Planning Commission. It is perhaps like just approved administratively by staff. A conditional use permit means that there might be impacts associated with that use. So we want those to be vetted, given opportunity for the public to provide public comment, and as well as the Planning Commission's review.
Are there reviews after the conditional permit was issued? Are there yearly, quarterly, every 5-year review on the conditional use permit?
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. So as part of the business license process, we do ensure that there are no impact. If your question is referring to potential impacts.
No, they're trying to stay in the lane of the condition that we're asked for. Because like you said, it's the reason we're asking for conditional use permit is for the public to have a say whether to grant it or not. So once it's granted, there's also interest in the public that they stay within what they say they can do. So it is monitored. Every time they apply for a business permit, to renew a business permit, it's part of the process to review.
Staff reviews, and that is also a function of code enforcement to ensure that whatever use has been approved for that property, they continue with those uses only.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. I have a question for Jeremy Lowe. You mentioned that there will be as part of this development, there will be an 8-foot tall concrete wall along the link chain fence of Valley Christian. So it's right next to the fence, or is it going to replacing the fence?
Yeah, so as part of the original Precise Plan 2022-15, that included all the site improvements, parking lot, landscaping, etc., and this 8-foot tall wall, which will be located right on the property line. So it would replace a existing chain link fence.
I see. Thank you. So that will sort of take care of the issue that Commissioner Surtee brought up with regard to the security of the students, right? Another question is that since this car repair and car wash facility is used by Lexus only, it's not open to public, correct?
Thank you, Chair Au. Correct. This would be a non-customer facing service facility. So the main facility will still be the Lexus of Cerritos on Studebaker within the Cerritos Auto Square. It would be these employees perhaps transferring the vehicle if there's not enough room to service the vehicle at that service center over, and the vehicle will be brought back. So customers would not visit this facility.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
One more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one more. That's just a comment. Nothing to do with what we have here. It has something to do with it. As a planning commissioner, I know the city has been divided into industrial, residential, R1, R2, and my concern is that not having the general plan before me of moving commercial from commercial to commercial industrial, the people before us made those plans, separated it, and they have a reason why they moved. They designated one section commercial industrial. So I'm a little kind of just myself that I feel like I'm having mission creep. I mean, like how do I know that the general plan, the intent is just keep this commercial and not move into commercial industrial. I don't have the total picture of what our founding father, or what the people here had designed. So I have no issue with the project, but in the future, I don't know if somebody can show me before, what the general plan looks like, what's the intention is, what's the intent, because I don't want to go against what was laid before us. How do you change commercial into residential? What's the idea? I know as time progressed, the needs changes, and we have to, I don't want just the need to supersede the design of the city. The overall design. I don't want to I don't want to kind of mess it up and just approving all kinds of, hey, we want to move it from industrial to industrial commercial or residential now so to me, I'm just I feel unequipped I don't have all the information. I would like to see the overall picture. Maybe we can do a study session among the commissioner and see what the intent, what do we want the city to look before, are we going to maintain it, and what kind of, some cities have slow growth, no growth. I mean, what's the intent? Where do we want to be 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Because the decision we're making now has an impact in the future. So that's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm not.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, and those are great thoughts to have. So the city's current general plan was adopted in 2004, and it's a very, very comprehensive document. There are, I would say, 13 chapters that discuss all types of planning elements here in the city. It is a very large strategic planning document, and best practice is that this general plan be updated every perhaps 25 years. The city many years ago implemented a general plan maintenance fee on permits, where we are collecting fees so that we can have enough funding to update our general plan. And so it is on the city's website, the general plan, and we will note that there is a request to understand more about what the general plan is and its function. Now, to update the general plan, the city does intend, once there is enough funding, to update its general plan, and that is a big undertaking, which involves a lot of public input. It involves obtaining public input from the community through various community meetings. There's an environmental component associated with that. It is a full, it is a large undertaking, but very exciting because it does establish where does the city want to go in the next 20 to 30 years. So that is on our departments and the city's kind of forefront when we look toward the future. And so we'll take those comments from Commissioner Reyes tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Chan.
I do just want to make, one clarification. So the general plan designation, land use designation for the site is not changing. It's still industrial. What's proposed for a modification is the zoning designation. So the current land use designation is industrial, and it does permit it's intended for both M zone and MC zone. So the project is continuously consistent with the general plan. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. At this point, I'd like to open the public hearing for this agenda item 6C.
Mr. Chair, members of Planning Commission, members of staff, good evening. Nina Ray representing AutoNation. Thank you to staff for doing a good presentation here. Just to add to what the staff has indicated, this particular dealership, I mean, the service building is only going to be used by Lexus, not Toyota. AutoNation owns a lot of different Hyundai, Toyota, Acura, you name it, but for this particular project that you have today, it is specifically for the Lexus dealership. There would be no customers allowed to this building. All the drop-off is at the main dealership. Employees of Lexus will be the ones that will be taking the cars from the dealership to the service area to be serviced. And some of the concerns that you guys have raised about hazardous material, all of that, those are things that during the plan review process, we deal with LA County Fire, provide all the hazmat, car wash, sand oil separators for industrial waste. So all those are accounted for when we get our construction documents done. We have done plenty dealerships to know what the requirements are. So I assure you that there would not be any concerns with any overflow or anything that goes in the water, storm drains, or anything like that. So I appreciate your support to this project and looking forward to another good project here in Cerritos. I'm here to answer any questions. We have reviewed the conditions of approval and agreed to the conditions too.
Thank you. Questions? Go ahead. No question?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If there's any questions for the environmental consultants, they're here too, but doesn't look like there is, so thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion for agenda item 6C. Review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending that the Cerritos City Council approve Development Map Amendment 2026-2.
I make a motion to approve the Development Map Amendment 2026-2.
Second the motion.
Thank you.
For clarification, the motion was made by Vice Chair Chauhan for the recommendation of approval for both Development Map Amendment 2026-2 as well as Conditional Use Permit 2026-2, and seconded by Reyes. Thank you. At this time, we'll activate the electronic voting. Okay, all votes have been received and the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So even though this is after the vote, the comment is this: there's mission creepage, I agree. But I love the mission creepage because it's in the right corridor for the right industry. And that's what I mean by symbiosis of the neighborhood that then feeds into the whole economic cycle.
I agree, Mr. Chauhan, but we just need to understand the whole, where we're creeping into.
Thank you. Now let's move in onto agenda item 7, reports. Agenda item 7A, reports from designated commission staff liaisons. Ms. Acuna?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the moment. I do want to make 2 reports tonight. Just one clarification for under agenda item number 6B. I do want to mention that on the record that city did receive written correspondence that was provided to the Planning Commission and made part of the record tonight prior to the voting on this matter. And then as well as I did want to as well just introduce our newly positioned planner here, our associate planner, Stacy Lee. She assisted in the reporting under some of the agenda items tonight. So she is present, but has not yet been presented to the Planning Commission. She will be coming forward with as well similar projects as you've seen tonight, as well as other projects before the Planning Commission. So I did want to take this opportunity to introduce our associate planner, Stacy Lee.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. My name is Stacy Lee. I'm the new associate planner with the City of Cerritos. It's an honor to meet you, honorable chair and members of the Planning Commission. I am looking forward to present items in the future and bringing exciting items to before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome on board.
And that ends my reporting under this item. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Akun. Yeah. So 7B, reports from Planning Commission members. Yes.
No report, but I would just like to personally congratulate, welcome Stacy, and congratulations on your passing the probation. It's 6 months already, right? So now you are fully not vested yet, but you are a full employee of the city of Cerritos, and welcome. That's welcome from by way of Franjo Cocamonga. Right? Thank you again and welcome.
Commissioner Surdi? Okay. Vice Chair Chauhan?
Okay, so the only report is we had a great 4th of July celebration. Thank you, city staff and everyone who worked on it. I know it's at 70th celebration for the city, but it was also 250th for this wonderful nation of ours. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for our last lead meeting, which again highlighted the work of each department and highlights the work of all the employees within the city. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's celebration. Let's see what is it? Nation's Night Out celebration looks like tomorrow. And welcome, Stacy. Thank you.
Well, without further reports, I'd like to declare that the meeting is adjourned.